Okay, welcome now. Time for us to do the news, but I will be doing it together with Gifty and Pierre. Good morning, Gifty.
Morning to you, Smart. I'm fine.
Okay, good to know you're fine. Well, let's check out the headlines for this particular bulletin coming up. Drivers continue to flout road traffic regulations along the Accra-Tema motorway without recourse to the threat it poses to their lives and the lives of other road users. And
authorities of the Volta River Authority assures the T3 plant at Aboaze, which was shut down as a result of an explosion in June, will start full operation soon.
And also coming up, residents of Daman say mining activities are proving to be a nuisance in their community. We have details coming up right now. First up, motorists continue to flout road traffic regulations without recourse to the threat it poses to their lives and the lives of other road users. Joy News' Eric Curtis Howard reports that despite several attempts by authorities to stop the practice, there seems to be no solution in sight.
The Accra-Tema motorway is a major transit point for the transportation of goods and services from Accra to Tema, the Eastern and Volta regions, and vice versa. The road, which is a 7.32-lane dual carriage highway and made with concrete surfacing, has not seen any major rehabilitation works since its construction in 1964. Several potholes have developed on the stretch. Though there have been attempts to repair them, the situation has not helped much. Drivers plying the stretch have to endure one form of bumpy ride or the other. The use of unapproved and illegal routes on the highway is another challenge confronting authorities. The question as to who are the faces behind the illegal diversions still remain unanswered, yet motorists continue to use these diversions with impunity. Attempts by the National Road Safety Commission and the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department to block some of these unapproved routes with stone borders has not yielded much results.
This is one of the several unapproved routes on the Accra-Tema motorway. According to authorities, the use of such routes are illegal and motorists caught using them must be fined. But the big question is, what has authorities done so far to arrest the situation?
According to the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service, these illegal diversions are contributing largely to the increasing spate of road accidents on the stretch. 49 years after its construction, it is obvious that the motorway has long ceased to be an expressway linking two cities to virtually becoming a street running through several residential settlements. And with this dramatic development comes along the attendant challenges, accidents that constantly claim lives, armed robbery, problems with security, and several more functioning street lights at night. And until authorities stand up to deal with the situation, one cannot tell what will become of the Accra-Tema motorway in the next 5 years.
Authorities of the Volta River Authority has assured that the T3 plant at Aboaze, which was shut down as a result of an explosion which occurred in June this year, is expected to start full operation soon. In addition, the report ascertaining the cause of the explosion is expected to be available by an independent assessor by the end of this month.
A media tour of the Aboaze thermal plant was organized by the Volta River Authority to improve reportage on power-related issues and operational activities. Journalists were informed of the planned Dumonli thermal power project in the western region, which will produce about 450 megawatts of power in 2016 to 2017, and the planned expansion of existing facilities to drastically improve energy supply by 2022. Once again, it was emphasized that the completion of the Tuabu gas project will be crucial to cutting the prohibitive cost of power generation based on crude oil. However, the crux of the issue was an explosion earlier this year, which brought the T3 to a standstill. The 4 turbines of the T3, which produces about 132 megawatts of energy, have been shut down since June. But authorities say the contractor has already submitted a proposal to refit turbine units 2 and 3, even as 1 and 4 remain shut down. A report on investigations into the cause of the explosion is expected to be released by the end of this month, and operations will resume soon after.
As an organization, our responsibility and part of our corporate responsibility is to ensure that we engage with our partners And the media, for us, is a key stakeholder, for which reason we need to engage with them at every step of the way. The challenges, as I said, are within our remit, and we are taking care of them. For those that are outside our remit, we'll engage stakeholders and ensure that we are on course as an organization to provide the power that the country needs for development.
The maintenance manager of VRA, Stephen Owusu, outlined projections of the company.
T3 has an installed capacity of 132, and you are looking at expanding that or doing another project side by side to T3 to add 170 megawatts to it. That will be one gas turbine and then a steam turbine. For a brief maintenance work, TICO is also operating all their installed units. So you are talking about 200 megawatts from T1 and 200 megawatts from TICO. So currently that is what you are generating from the complex.
Members of the media were later taken on a tour to inspect the T1, 2 and 3 sites, the main control room, as well as other projects in the facility. William Benjamin Peters reports for Joy News.
Let's stay with mining issues a while longer. Mining activities in and around Daman in the Prestea-Huni Valley district of the Western region are proving to be a nuisance for farmers, resident farmers. Samson Ainu, a 73-year-old farmer, tells us that the Abosso Goldfields Limited mine, which is now a stone's throw away from his house, makes life unbearable. He was speaking to our Western regional correspondent, William Benjamin Peters.
The journey to Damang is bumpy, dusty and dangerous. There is only one road leading to the community, and residents walk the stretch on a daily basis, despite the perils. Some drivers take advantage of the situation to charge exorbitant fares ranging from 30 to 200 Ghana cedis. Farmers in this community either abandon their crops on the farms to rot or carry heavy loads on the slippery road. This unfortunate situation, we were told, was a result of activities by a mining company, which has diverted other access roads to make way for their concessions.
First, but you say one blocking and you say no more honey in no bar on here no abeka a grassy phone. We go no cocoa near the gonum. I see by if I were by no abeka also. Until myself by shan ma can babeka the whole day. In the end, so I shouldn't tell you intimate to move.
73-year-old Samson Ainu and his family live in Damang. About 200 meters away from his house, heavy-duty machines and excavators are busy at work, mining. This concession belongs to Abosso Goldfields Limited. Working this close to residents is against the mining law as well as EPA regulations. The situation, we gathered, has been the norm for more than 2 months. Several appeals to the company for resettlement have fallen on deaf ears. Apart from the ear-splitting noise, their source of drinking water has been polluted.
He was saying, "What better on what better?" Meanwhile, what do we are? Ogumugoha, Musa Munimiara say, Contemporary better identity. Banchi, Ite, Onam, poison now with their grass affinity. Nina Rapoto, Memeti crisis, Amatiana pay. Walk off a brew, walk to a brewer, Dama, for what they do. No one, Yaman, what I made.
Mary Ainu, their daughter, pleaded with authorities to regulate the activities of the mining company.
You baby and fast is a how can almost see her then. Now, as we done in Tim of Fonso, almost Mamma and 40 say, emergency be near. Your frack, I just see she can't walk him, answer Wafayako, Wafin Paquanaco.
The secretary to the Damang Mine Consultative Farmers, Michael Anka, said the matter has been reported to both the DCE and the MP for the Prestea-Huni Valley, as well as authorities of the company, but to no avail. He hinted that they could stage a massive demonstration against the company. Efforts to get a response from Abosso Goldfields Limited failed. William Benjamin Peters reports for Joy News.
Police at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport have detained a Ghanaian man found trafficking cocaine worth 4 million shillings to Benin. 34-year-old man was arrested on Saturday night while connecting a flight to Benin on arrival from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Airport CID Chief Joseph Ngeza said the suspect was found to have swallowed 48 pellets of cocaine, which he has since admitted. Police in Kenya have lately intensified the war against drug trafficking following President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive. And moving on to some other stories, the Minister of Health, Sherry Aite, has called on the Ghana Education Service to include the usage of contraceptives in the syllabus, saying this will help young adults make informed decisions on their reproductive health. Now, she made the call at the launch of the 2013 National Family Planning Week and World Contraceptive Day in Ho and the Volta region.
The Ghana Demographic and Health Survey in 2008 stated that approximately 123,000 women of reproductive age in Ghana are at risk of unintended pregnancy and stand a higher risk of being victims of maternal mortality. It also stated that the likelihood of stillbirths increases when pregnancies are close together. Thus, the Ghana Health Service 3 years ago launched an annual week-long campaign on family planning and to increase awareness on the usage of contraceptives. This year, the Health Minister underscored the need to pass supportive policies, especially those that will bind men and boys to be involved in the process. The Volta Regional Minister, Nilaye Afoteagbo, noted that if Ghana meets modern contraceptive needs and improves usage, it will drastically reduce maternal deaths and accelerate socio-economic development of families and the country as a whole.
With the support of the Nine Nation Population Fund, in December 2011, launched the campaign for accelerated reduction of maternal mortality in the Volta region.
Dr. Ebenezer Appiah-Denchira observed that family planning is probably the most comprehensive and sustainable initiative for achieving the best health outcomes, especially when it comes to attaining health-related Millennium Development Goals.
Plan your life in such a way that will meet your resources and is as applicable to a country as it is to a community, as it is to a couple or to an individual. As a country, we've turned out so many children and there's no admission for them in the schools or in the universities.
Komna Ados report for Joy News.
Now, 100,000, that's the number of deaths in Africa annually linked to counterfeit or substandard drug trade, according to the World Health Organization. But that does not necessarily stop the trade. With just 12 Ghana cedis, you could literally be buying your death on the streets. Irama Kojo reports.
For a lot of people, the procedure they follow when they do not feel well is to report to the clinic or a pharmacist. But that is not the case for some others who self-prescribe and medicate. Others yet depend on untrained and unlicensed drug peddlers. It would not be much of a problem if the medicines they sell are certified and safe. Many drug peddlers deal in substandard and uncertified medicines. And for 12 cedis, I bought one for an imaginary sister who needed to put on weight and look heavier. I had not only bought a bottle of concoction with ingredients I was not sure of and did not know, the peddler also added a steroid to it and gladly sold me another blister pack with her own prescription. At best, these medicines would have no effect because they have no active ingredients, but at worst, they are highly toxic.
If you were trained, you would have known that why do you prescribe a steroid for somebody you don't even know the condition of the person? Because steroids like this, dexamethasone, can cause hormonal disorders in women, in children, even in men. They can lead to complications of fertility problems. And then they can also mask infections, the symptoms of infections. So if the person has some active infection, The person might feel okay and think it's all right. Then the infection will be progressing until it's too late. And you might die out of that infection unnecessarily. Why would somebody want to empty these steroids into a drink? You don't even know what the drink also contains. What reaction is steroid going to have with this one? These medicines itself has not even been evaluated for its quality. They are brought in by peddlers. And then from peddler, international peddlers to local peddlers and then local prescribers who are not trained.
The FDA may be doing a lot, but in cases like this, it has a lot more to do.
Because of these things, we've even went to raid the Carnation and Bubblish market. We got stocks of them. But unfortunately for us, we couldn't actually place our hands on who is actually manufacturing or bringing this in if it is coming from outside.
There are only 2 legal points of entry for all medicines in Ghana, but unapproved drugs are still sold on the open market.
And that's it.
Oh, no, sure, you go ahead.
And that's it for the AM News. But seriously, Smart, will you buy any of these drugs? You know, there's some...
if for nothing at all, if I don't even want to go to the hospital, I have a lot of pharmacist friends.
But that's you. You have a lot of pharmacists. What about the people who don't? And I think
even if I didn't have pharmacist friends, there are so many pharmacy shops around where I live. Why would I want to go and buy? You know why? My problem with them, they'll take one drug, mention like 15 conditions that it can treat, and I don't trust it. That's just me.
I don't know. But fake drugs, please, don't be wicked. Don't know anybody. Yeah, because people don't know. You just go and purchase this drug, and it's you're buying your death, like we said. Anyway.
Okay, so that's it for the bulletin. Let's look at our headlines again this hour. Drivers continue to flout road traffic regulations along the Accra-Tema motorway without recourse to the threat it poses to their lives and the lives of other road users.
Authorities of the Volta River Authority assures the T3 plant at Aboise, which was shut down as a result of an explosion in June, will start full operations soon.
And residents of Daman say mining activities are proving a nuisance in their community. And that's it for the AM News. Stay with us, the show continues. Welcome to Sports. She wouldn't say it's hard to do it. Welcome to Sports, brought to you by Tigo.
Tigo, smile, you've got Tigo, like I'm doing. And we begin with the result of Week 5 of 2013-2014 Ghana Premier League. So these are the results. Inter Allies, yeah. Inter Allies 0, Asante Kotoko 1, Azakas 1, Dubiase FC 1, Brekum Chelsea 1, Ediana Stars 1, Hearts of Lions 1, and Dwarfs 0, Liberty Professionals 1, Mediama SC 2, Ashanti Gold FC 2, and Amidas Professionals 1. King Faisal had 3, Wa All Stars 2, Bechem United 0, and Heart of Oak 1.
Okay, so with the results on your screen now, let's look at the standings of the various teams on the table. Kotoko still on top of the table with 15 points, followed by Accra Hearts of Oak 12. Okay, the gap is closing gradually. That's good. Then we have Ash Gold at 3, Hearts of Lions, Bechem United, Dwarfs, Ediana Stars with 7 points, and Mediama SC with 6 points. So those are the top, those leading the table as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned. Then we have Amidaos Professionals followed with 5 points, Liberty also with 5 points, Brekum Chelsea with 5 points, King Faisal with 5, Wild Stars with 4, Dubiase with 4, Hazakes with 3, and of course, Allies having no points there. Did I say that loud? Okay. Okay.
Okay, so there was soccer in England as well, and in the Barclays Premier League. So here are some highlights of the game.
After an inspiring another big scalp after last weekend's shock victory at Manchester United. The Gunners created a handful of chances but lacked the clinical edge in the final third. Against the run of play, Claudio Jacob headed the Baggies into the lead just before the break. Nicholas Anelka spurned a glorious opportunity to double the host lead. A former Gunners striker fluffed his lines in front of goal. The visitors pressed for the equaliser. Olivier Giroud set up Jack Wilshere. The England man failed to hit the target. Anelka again could have put further daylight between the two teams. He was made to rue the squandered chance as Jack Wilshere met Thomas Rosiski's layoff.
Wonderful equaliser. How very Arsenal.
Bo Ismail prevented Giroud from claiming a late winner, but the draw was enough to take Arsene Wenger's side above Liverpool on goals scored.
Standings and were the first to threaten. Andros Townsend jinxed past a couple of defenders before giving the ball to Gylfi Sigurdsson. Jerzy Jääskeläinen, though, making an easy save. Halfway through the first period, Moussa Dembele finds Townsend. The 22-year-old tried his luck from distance. The best chance of the half fell to Spurs. Paulinho's volley from a Townsend ball flashed wide. Both teams would seek improvement after the break. The second half seemed to be a completely different match. 20 seconds after the interval, Paulinho sets up Jermaine Defoe. Finn Jääskeläinen again came to the rescue of the Hammers. Spurs would come close again after some great interplay to set up the chance between Christian Eriksen, Sigurdsson and Paulinho, Defoe forcing a fine save. Sam Allardyce must have fired up his men in the change room as they took the lead completely against the run of play.
It's Reed, and at the second attempt, Winston Reid puts West Ham in front. Their first away goal of the season.
Ricardo Vastey would also be the beneficiary of a second bite of the cherry as he gave the Hammers their second. 11 minutes before the whistle, Ravel Morrison made it 3-0 to secure the win for the away side.
As far, player omissions by the special one have stolen the headlines in recent times, but forgotten man Demba Ba set up the opener with the game still in its infancy.
Lampard for Ba. 1-0 Chelsea. Oscar without error.
He took that unerringly. Absolutely clean and concise. Ruddy with no chance, right into the corner of the net.
Justifying his selection, Ba continued to trouble the host defence as John Ruddy kept the Senegalese striker out on several occasions. Against the run of play, Petr Cech maintained the visitors' advantage with 22 minutes gone. Chelsea's second, though, was slow in arriving, and again the Ba-Ruddy tussle continued with the England international prevailing. The tempo increased after the break, and goal scorer Oscar was guilty of fluffing a chance of his own making in the 63rd minute. However, the Brazilian would rue that miss as Norwich equalised 5 minutes later.
Van Wolfswinkel, Luis on goal! Pilkington round behind him! Norwich are level!
Despite a raft of substitutions, Chelsea were kept on the back foot as Chris Hughton's men grew in confidence. That said, two of Mourinho's changes would save the manager his blushes, as first Eden Hazard struck, then Willian broke Norwich hearts.
Neto crashed into the crowd. Willian! Oh, welcome! Welcome to the Barclays Premier League!
3-1 the final score as Chelsea registered their first away win of the season.
Okay, so those are some highlights from the EPL matches played this weekend. But let's look at some other results from the EPL matches played as well. Norwich City lost 3-1 to Chelsea. You just saw that. Southampton won 2-0. They beat Swansea City. Tottenham Hotspur also lost to West Ham United 3-0. West Brom Albion drew with Arsenal 1-1. Manchester City 3, Everton 1, Cardiff City 1, Newcastle United 2. Fulham also won over Stoke City, that was just 1-0. Hull City and Aston Villa drew goalless. And then Liverpool beat Crystal Palace 3-1. I wonder, Crystal Palace will then, if we look at the league tables or the standings for the EPL as a sports analyst, do you think they also have 0 as Inter Allies has 0 on
I
our local?
still have to get some notes together so that I'll be able to make an in-depth analysis on this one. So just give me some time and I'll get you there. But meanwhile, Ghana midfielder Suliali Muntari scored the fastest goal this season in the Italian Serie A. He got 2 goals for AC Milan in their 3-2 loss to Juventus. Here, a highlight for the Italian Serie A.
With their efforts in the Champions League in midweek, and it took just 20 seconds for Milan to rub salt into the wound.
Well, it's instant goal here. No flag is up, and it's Montari at the far post.
What a start.
In a frantic start at the Juventus Stadium, Cagliarella should have levelled for the home side but failed to hit target. 3 minutes later, Christian Abbiati was forced into action. Antonio Conte's team would draw level a third of the way through the half.
He's sung it over the wall, and it's 1-1 here. Pirlo with a little piece of magic.
Riding high after their equaliser, Juve might have gone ahead soon after. Leonardo Bonucci's header was pushed over the bar. Milan had been dominated for the majority of the game but seemed to find their rhythm. Christian Zapata's effort was saved by the hand of Gianluigi Buffon. 1-1 at the break, fans were certainly getting their money's worth. In the second period, Sebastian Giovinco ghosted into the area with 21 minutes remaining to send Juve into the lead. Philippe Mexes would be sent off for a second yellow card after his foul on Giovinco. Andrea Pirlo stepped up, but wouldn't be the player to put the ball in the back of the net.
And Chiellini's turned it in. It's 3-1.
With the match winding down, Paul Pogba got caught in possession, Sulley Montari scoring his second to set up a tense 4-minute period of injury time. Milan would fail to find their equaliser, with Massimiliano Allegri's side deserved winners.
So let's look at some other results from the Serie A. Parma beat Sassuolo 3-1. Catania drew with Genoa 1-0. Napoli beating Livorno 4-0. Sampdoria and Torino drawing 2-2. Udinese beat Cagliari 2-0. Bologna 1. Hellas Verona 4. Chievo Verona 0. Atalanta 1. And Internazionale also losing 3-0 to AS Roma. Okay, so those are the results for the Serie A. But let's move over to Spain now. Look at the results for the La Liga. Atletico Madrid beating Celta Vigo 2-1. Sevilla beating Almeria also 2-1, same scoreline. Getafe beating Real Betis 3-1. Elche 2, Espanyol 1, Rayo Vallecano 1, Real Sociedad 0, Levante 2, Real Madrid 3, Barcelona 4, wow, Real Valladolid 1. That's an interesting scoreline there. Villarreal 3, Granada 0, Malaga 0, Osasuna 1. And those are some of the results from the La Liga matches played over the weekend as well. So, Gifty, you know, someone has actually asked Gifty to do some analysis for them on Facebook, and she still claims she's putting her notes together. I just asked a simple question.
I think that's a simple question.
As a sports analyst, what's the name? Inter Allies is on the bottom of the Ghana Premier League. They have 0 points.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace in the EPL, they've also lost almost every game they've played.
Okay.
So I'm asking, would they also have 0 if we should look at the league standings?
No, not necessarily. So that's it for sports. It was brought to you by Tigo. Smile, you've got Tigo, because also it's a beautiful morning.
Oh my goodness.